All right, let's get started. Welcome, everyone. I hope everyone's going well tonight. Is my mic working? Yes, it is. All right, awesome. And hopefully the sound is working too. It's a bit low for me. I'm just turning it up for me, but that might have been the one song. All right, we are continuing off where we left on Friday, which was dealing with the relationships, so forth like that. Trying to remember where I was with that. So we got the project API, and then in here I wanted to do the connections and so forth like that. But I wanted to pass off a lot of those connections to generics, which is the linked list service. So we've done the delete. And we are returning files. We've done the update. All right, cool. We don't have to create one. We don't have to get the link list. And I think that's, where we were up to. So if we have a look at the project API, we've got the create. What are you chewing? Oh, you want to play with your toy. Give me a couple of seconds. All right, cool. Where was I? Yeah, so we haven't done the create, nor have we done the list. We have this set up on the project, and the idea is that there is a link list type thing in here. So if we scroll down, we've got the link list like that, and we've got all the different methods, and we've got the URL paths set. And hopefully that works. So yeah, I'm just wondering what will be easier, doing the create. I think the create would be pretty easy to do. We just need to look at the old code and determine how that was set up. It's the same business logic in the old code. But then again, I've got to deal with the front end to do that too, which means actually getting the list is going to be a lot easier, because then I just need to have an endpoint for that. All right, cool. As you can kind of tell, don't chew on the thing. It's bad for your teeth. But sorry, getting distracted by socks. She's just wanting to play at the moment. All right, are you going to open up your mouth again? Can you open up your mouth? Be like, will you put the soft toy in there? No. She's like, no, I don't want the soft toy. Alright, that time it didn't hit my finger. That was unexpected before. Alright. Here we go. She is 12 and still playing. Oh, we're on an ad break. Alright, cool. Oops. Might as well make the most of it. There we go. For those on YouTube wondering what's actually happening, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch. That's just to stop the pre-rolled ads, because the pre-rolled ads suck. Alright, let's go to stream health. There we go. No data. That is good. We've got about a minute left of the ads. As you can tell, we do this. We also just take a break so no one misses out on any content. And there she goes. She's like, oh. Well, are you done? Or are you wanting to get into work now? You're like, I got business stuff to do. All right. I'll put that down. We've got about 30 seconds left of the ads. We'll put socks front and center. Just because, people come and see her, not me. She can't code, but we might get her a Claude count. we've got about 5 seconds left. Line everything up. And go getting lots of pats. Anyway, welcome back everyone. Alright, so I might get the list one done first, just because that way we know it's all done. And Kendall, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Yeah, she's done with her playing around. She's back to business now. So what we've got is we've got the get link list. That's going to pass over into the service because we are going to pass through probably what this is. Oh, we already have. We've got the destination location ID. So what I want to do is I want to have a look at the old code. Mainly because all the business logic is there, and if we're lucky, we can just copy and paste it. With hopefully no refactoring. Fingers crossed. So I'm going to have a look at the views. I'm going to have a look at the API. I'm going to have a look at, this is the object data. And this is part of the link API view. So this is how we used to set it up. As you can tell, we've got object structure and all that kind of fun stuff in this. We've got the view set. Yep. All right, cool. We've got the get. All right. So get link list. In this case, this is actually called from somewhere else. So if we actually scroll all the way down to, that's create. So it'll be after this. That's destroy. And that's the list. As you can see, we get the destination location ID, and then we get the list, and then we send back the results. And we did it this way. So these are lean. So I'm just going to go scrolling up. So what we do, check objects to make sure the destination location. All right, cool. So, yep, these are making sure the object assignment is not deleted. And if it's either in the destination and location ID fields, sorry, if the destination field equals the location ID, all the better equals that. All right, cool. So that's a bit of an or in there. That's fine. That's easily understandable. Then in here, we've got this. This is how we used to have to deal with the translations and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot easier now. So what I want to do, I want to grab this. We want to go over with the get link list. Am I commenting the def? No, I'm not. All right, cool. We're just pasting that in because it's just going to be really easy to do. We do need to do the import for the queues. Oops. I need a new keyboard soon. That will be from Django.database.models import, I think, queue. If memory serves me correctly. Yeah, got it. All right, is Socks going to come back if I move this? Ah, yes, she is. There you go. Socks, you know, they only come to see you, Socks. All right, I just got to do self.destination and self.location ID here because we do this. We set this up when we sort of create the object. All right, so that's just getting the object results. Oh, you're going good? Oh, that's good to hear. So, yeah. So that will get all our connections. So I'm trying to think for this. Yep, that will get all our connections. So that's our data list, object structure. All right, cool. Object structure, object. Yep. All right, cool. Data results, data point list. So that goes all the way through. Okay, when the destination equals non-null field, all the meta objects. Yep. All right, cool. So data points and data point list. In this sort of case, yes, socks. All right. I'm going to have to remember a lot of this. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy all of this. And I'm just going to paste it in here. The reason being is I can just see it in here. It'll flag certain things and I get to delve a little bit deeper. Yeah, and I got the highlighting in here. So set up the data point list is to loop through here, add the generic metadata. So if memory serves me correctly, the object start, that will be pointing at all of that. So if we go down here, when the destination equals non-null field, we specifically want to check out all the meta objects that equal the location ID. We want to make sure that 1, the destination column is not null, 2, the meta object equals location ID. These will be all meta objects assigned to the current object. All right, cool. So that's with that query that we did just before. So we got if destination equals data point non-null field. The problem, I don't have object structure in here, but it's a name tuple. All right, so it's the non-name field, which is the last one. So we've got object ID, title, and the good news is now we're just going ID, title, status, and type. So non-null field is going to be task. All right. So, destination. And Nocturnal, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. We are starting to port the old business logic stuff, like the Python code and all that kind of stuff into the 0.32. Oh, you have a cold? Oh, that sucks. Should be spring for you guys. It should be warming up. I'm sorry to hear. I can't complain. Need a holiday. That's coming later this year. So yeah, other than that, yeah, I can't complain. It's starting to warm up. Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, it's starting to get cold here again. So I'm wearing a jumper at the moment. Today was okay. I don't know what the temperature was today. I got to 18. Yeah, today was okay. Tomorrow will be... Oh, they'll be nice. This week will be nice. All right, cool. But it is starting to cool down here. As you can tell, it's getting down to 11 degrees tonight. So... You need a holiday too? Yeah. But yeah, everything's slowly slotting into place with 0.32. So I'm hoping to get the project stuff done by the hopefully mid-May, and then tasks will just occur. Requirement items will take a little bit of work, but they shouldn't be too far. So yeah. Too many fires this quarter. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm assuming you mean wood stove fires or fireplace fires. So we're probably going to use this structure again, but I believe these will change. If this is working and there's not a better way of doing it, are you going to come back if I move this? I'm moving the socks. No work fires like... oh, sorry, I was thinking winter weather fireplaces and stuff like that. You can't heat your house with those. So sadly not. Yeah, I was thinking of actually keeping this sort of structure. The idea being is it's working. We'll need to just change these. But that should be fine. Not even my department, but I had to deal with him. Oh, no. Oh. I'm glad, touch wood, we don't have any. I'm glad that we're not having any of those. The destination column is not null. Alright, cool. So, I am thinking of creating this. Because, yeah, it looks like this is needed. And then a lot of this is just me going self.destination because we've got it. Like that. That's pretty easy. F, that's easy to... F and value are easy to import. This is just some other stuff. We'll get back down to that in a minute. So if I do that, we've got all that. And then from here, we pull out the values that we need. And then from here, we've got data, ascend, that will be self.location ID. This is the else statement, so it's part of the meta. We're going to keep the comments in because they're fine. We've got the self destination equals. All right. Data results, extend, Kanban card, objects filter, I will need to test all of this. Not the Kanban card. So that's for if the destination is either project task or requirement, add Kanban card. Okay, yep. Add on the Kanban cards. All right, yep, cool. Are you planning on doing a straight port? Are you going to break up the file, refactor in general? There will definitely be a lot of code cleanup. So it won't be me just copying and pasting stuff in. I'll be reviewing pretty much most of the code going in. The great news is a lot of the Vue stuff is not been ported over because we're going to be using the API for that. A lot of those calls. So yeah. And now that it's a proper single page application, a lot of those views are no longer needed. So there's a bit of both. It honestly depends what I'm doing because some of the business logic there is going to be copy and paste. Some of it definitely not. Hell, some of this is I definitely need to modify all of this up here. And it might be the case that I then just drop this down into just a simple list. Which could work. Just a list of all the objects that we deal with. But yeah, I'll get to that in a bit. Because yeah, the object ID, the object title, object status, and object type. The object type is a variable. All right, not a problem. But yeah, the object ID, object title, and object status, those are going to be the same for all of them. Hang on a minute. No, I've got this funky thing going on. All right. The ID will be the same. I've got that funky thing going on too. So yeah, all of those will then be ID, which is going to be fine. So I'll get rid of, oh, hang on. Oh, that's meta object. That's perfectly fine. So this will just be ID. Hold on. Oh no, I'm making a mistake already. It won't actually be ID because we're dealing with the object assignment table. They're foreign keys. It will be project ID. So yeah, we do want this. Essentially, this is staying the same. It's this project name that's going to be changed to title. This will then be changed to status. And then I think that's just going to be status again. Let me double check that. All right, Python 3, manage shell from NearBeach.models, import everything. Let's just go A equals object assignment dot objects dot filter. Let's just go pk equals 1. Whoops. B equals A0. Sorry, that was my bad. Honestly, don't know what their first one is about. Pick the fifth one. Maybe fourth one. Oh. Oops, sorry, sucks. Alright, I'm just going to the models. It's just going to be 10 times easier if I have a look at the models themselves. I'm going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up NearBeach. I'm going to open up NearBeach. We're going to go into the models. We're going to go into the objects assignment and have a look at the objects assignment. So this will have ID. We've just got project. All right. So if I were to go over here, it would be literally project ID, but after I do that, what about status? So if I go down, here it is. So we go into status like this. Like, oi, sunshine, come on. What the hell is going on? Oh, I've got to click the other one. Don't worry. So if we go into status, and then we've got status in here. All right, yep. So we've got to get rid of this. So straight off the bat, that will be a bit different. That will throw a spanner in our works. Not too much of a problem. All right, so this now be title. This now be that. That was meant to be underscore underscore. There it goes. Status status. I don't know if I need the IDs there. I believe I don't need it because I've set the foreign key definitely at the object itself. All right. Measure. All right, cool. And that should be self.destination. Easy done. I'll keep that for the moment. So we got the location ID. We're all happy with all of this so far. If I can shrink this down, that'll be awesome, but I'm not going to at the moment. I feel like I could potentially get rid of these 3 fields because we've got this bit of data here. We've got meta object. We'll have title, have status. Title, we've got status, status. Potentially. Maybe not, I don't know yet. We'll have to test that out. But that should be all fine. I'm just going to go over here. We are going to essentially copy this now. This is only going to be used in this one little tiny file, so I'm just declaring the variables up here. This is just a simple variable. We need to import the named tuple. That will just come into here like that. That will be like that. In fact, we'll go variable structured object. Structure type. Is it done? It's going good. Now we haven't done a link serializer yet. I'm trying to remember what our links used to look like. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm just going to demo.nearbeach.app.api version 0. Let's go to project 1. Oh, I need the object data. Oops. Give me 2 secs. Sorry, I'm just bringing this data down. Wait, get back down here. Ah, it closed the thing. Oh, that's annoying. All right, in here we've got object link list. We're opening this up, so it's just going to be object ID. It's just going to be this. Easy done. We've got everything set up how we want it to. Yeah, it's just going to be us creating something like that. Easy done. In fact, if I find it, we could probably use this. So this is the link serializer. So we'll close the models. We'll open up the serializers. We've got object data. Now we've got status types in here. The reason why we've got so many is because of that. Different layers and stuff like that. As this doesn't have a layer, what did we used to call this? Link serializer. And we paste it in. All right, cool. So we've got the relation dictionary up there. Relates block. That's only used in here. There we go. So we've got the link relationship, serializer, character field, integer field, character field, character, all that kind of basic stuff. Create validated data, not implemented error. I don't think we need that. Actually, no, we do, because we're not creating anything. We've got the get field, so if request not in context, return fields. Yep, all right, cool. If self request method equals post. Object relationship, Ooh, probably I do need to actually deal with that. And the update. Actually, the update we're not implementing. All right, yep, that's fine. That's just changing the fields for the object relation, which doesn't exist here. What is it? It's a choice field. I'm just going to copy this. Right, only true. Hopefully it means I can get rid of this. Which means I can get rid of all of this because it does nothing now. And then we've got all the fields, apart from that one which we've just put in. So that will be the object relation. All right. Socks is back. And she likes standing in the way, doesn't she? There we go, yeah. So, oh yeah. Which keyboard do you use and what's that switch? Give me 2 seconds. Hopefully the keyboard command does work. Otherwise, it's a Keychron K2 blue switches. I've had this keyboard for a while now. It's starting to wear down. All right, so I think that might work. Fingers crossed, touch wood. Where am I? I'm over here. So what I want to do, I'm going to open up a new tab. I don't need the demo open up there, so I'll put that up there just to save confusion. We've got localhost, we've got API, we've got version 1. We're going to go project, we're going to go 1, and then we're going to go, what was it, list object. Oh, we haven't imported the serializers yet, so I better do that. Import the serializer. There we go. Then project API, that is just going to be, oh yeah, link list. And we've broken some, but that's not a problem. This is, considering we haven't tested anything, this is actually quite good. Anyway, I've just hit an ad break on Twitch, so here we are. For those on YouTube wondering what's actually happening, we run ads on Twitch, just up the pre-rolled ads, and it looks like Nightbot's not working on YouTube, so there we go. Ooh. Hopefully everyone's going well tonight. So, yeah. I'm hoping to get this done because if I get this done, it means other parts of the project are going to follow a similar sort of pattern. And yeah, it also means that I can start importing some of the code from the old version. Once again, refactoring it as it comes through. Some will be copy and paste, some will be like changing and tweaking and so forth like that. It sucks. I don't want to accidentally lean on your tail because you get unhappy. I'm always unhappy. Welcome back, everyone. So in here, we have a look at this. In here, cannot resolve keyword, object assignment ID into field. That's because we're now using just ID. So if we have a look at where that is, so that's the linked list, get linked list, line 90, and then the values, 1, 2, 3. So it's this one line here. And that's it. Cheers, thank you. All right, we've got another one. Going through code. 146. And that's part of our change that we did in the database where we got rid of all the prefix stuff and actually just left it like that. Now, another thing which we'll probably do here is get rid of all the object prefixes here because it's certainly implied. And yeah. Now, I'm just going to hit refresh. We've got another error. Can't get Kanban card ID. All right. Yeah, that's just going to be ID. That's just going to be title. And that's going to be, I also think title, but we'll find out in a second. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to hit refresh. Cannot reserve title into field. Join on ID not permitted. Oh, yes. But I believe it will be that now. It might be column. We'll find out in a second. All right, cool. Kanban column name choices are changed. That will be just called name. All right, cool. So in simplifying our database, we do have to go through and sort of fix up all this code. It's not a problem. It's a bit of overhead that I'm happy with. All right, cannot unpack non-iterable a list serializer object. Yay. All right, sorry, keep going. So we actually got down here now. So I'm just going to put a little breakpoint there. I'm just going to hit refresh. We're going to hit all this. We've got the data results. So here we are with all the data results. We've got ID, link relationship, object ID, object status, object title, object type, parent link, and reverse relation. So that is not going into here. Cannot unpack non-iterable list serializer object. Am I forgetting? Sorry, excuse me. Am I forgetting a list or something? We'll just Google it. We do have many equals true. Now another thing which I've done is if we go to the link serializer, I have included a write only in here. Object relation, write only, true. That wasn't there before. So we're going to do that. And we're going to go back over here. We're just going to... All right, so it isn't that. Good news. Just low-hanging fruit. All right. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's outside of this. It's actually in the project API views. All right, cool. So I don't think we need to send back that. I think we just need to send back the data. However, let me have a look. So we've got the data, we've got the success. All right. Let me try something. Serialized data equals list serializer. We're just throwing some temp code here at the moment. We've got this. If it breaks out of here, yeah, we've got a problem. All right. Child is a requirement argument. What? Object type of list serializer is not JSON serializable. All right. All right, cool. Give me a couple of seconds. But hello world equals hello world. We're just going to put a breakpoint here. Make sure that this actually gets to this particular point. Yeah. All right, cool. I thought we didn't escape out of that. Out of here. I was wrong. That's perfectly fine, and we should have success equals true. Sweet. So. Yeah, we should. So that should be sending back a serializer. goes in here. I'm doing something silly. Give me 2 seconds. Project serializer. Excuse me, my laptop's That was weird. Alright, what do I want to do? Source. No, NearBeach. Views, API, project API. So what actually happens here is when we get a linked list, let's scroll all the way up, project view, blah, 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 create, no, we don't want create, destroy, no, we don't want destroy, link list, yeah, that's in there. The list, so we get all the values, we do all that, we search, we do all that, we get all that information, and then we return serializer.data. All right, cool. So I just got to go up here and go serializer. And do that properly. It's always something simple, isn't it? What have I done? I don't know why that's statement unexpected. That should be it. What the? Give me 2 seconds. Sorry. It's kicked me off. All right, I'm signed in. Oh, fuck off. Oh my god. All right. How the hell do I sign in? I'm just gonna exit. All right, cool. I got the tooltip, the open toolbit. All right. Sorry about this. I'm just gonna share my screen. All right, cool. Workstation. So I can't move the tool stuff over at the moment. I'm just gonna update all. Gonna go settings. Gonna log back in. That does that sort of connection. All right, cool. I've logged back in. And now I've got to update everything. So yeah, sorry, we're just going to stay here just for a little bit. I do apologize. It is actually, how's my... Alright, I just realized that it tanked my upload. And I just dropped 1.5% of all my frames. I'm on 500 megabits. Just done. Alright, it is tanking my... I do apologize at the moment. We will do this for a little while. Yeah, everything's like popping up warning at the moment. Okay, hopefully I will be back properly in a second. I do apologize. Sorry, it does take a little while. Alright, we should be back. I still see unstable. I still see... And hey, how are you, Tentai? Yeah, I can do the Rubik's Cube whilst we wait for this. Oh, I'm getting old. Do you have a colour you want me to sell first? Alright, and the best thing is I've just done an update for PyCharm. Hopefully this means everything now just works. No, I don't want to take a video. I just want to get back to work. All right, cool. Let's restart the debugger. There we go. That's working a lot better. If I hit refresh, there we go. We've got all of our data. All right, I'm just going to, and I'm going to pick yellow. Okay. Ooh, I nearly dropped it. Oops. And there's yellow. All right. There's our top. We just now got to sort out the top row. There you go. And the best thing is, we got this working. Look at it. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm just thinking with... I don't know if I want object ID, object title, object status, type, parent link in there. What I might do is I might I'm just having a think. We're removing all the prefixed sort of stuff. So a lot of that still makes sense if we get rid of the object there. Yeah, except for object type. I think that will be best left like that. So we could have ID, title, and status. And then reverse relation will be like that, and then link relation will be like that. All right, cool. Now, just having a good think. Now, the ID, I might leave that there for the moment. Actually, I won't touch it for the moment. I'll have a proper think about it because I'll need to see how the front end sort of is built using it and whether or not it will be worth it. So, I've got to remember if that's object ID. Thank you, Socks. Am I tasty? Yeah, I'll have a think about it. What I want to do now is we've got the list. List is working perfectly. Yeah, I've got to do this. So if it's not a success with the link list, so I'm just having a look through my code, I'm just closing everything I don't need at the moment. So with the link list, we get the link list, we do all of this, get data points, else, yep, get data points, if destination in. Honestly, this is always going to pass. It might not have any data, but there's no conditions saying whether or not it will succeed or not. So in reality, this code then just becomes something a lot smaller. Like that. Oops, sorry, Socks. Even better. Look at that. It's tiny. I like that. Alright, it just works. Famous last words. Boom. Alright, cool. And I'm just double checking that is matching. Oh, okay, it's closing that bloody thing up here, doesn't it? Where's our network? That's the object list. If I have a look at the response and I open it up, we've got the object ID, object title, object status, object type. We've got the link relationship. We've got the parent link, and then reverse. So down here, we don't have that in that order. Annoying, I know. But what we can do is we can go in here. Oh. That's just meant to be ID. Okay. Sorry, I've got to be consistent with all of this. So yeah, that's got to be ID. That's got to be ID. Yeah. All right. Cool. We can test that one in a second. Just give me a good thing. So we've got the ID. We've got auditor. All right. Cool. So we've got the object ID, object relationship alert, all that kind of stuff. Aha. So we'll have the ID, object type, object ID. All right. So I will keep the object prefix in here because it won't make sense if I've got object ID and then relation, title, status. Whereas having object ID, object type, object relation, object type, and so forth like that works here. So what I want to do, I'm just going to refresh. Annotations, ID conflicts with a field on the model. Ooh. It does too. Shoot. What if I do that? Give me a second. Yeah, all right. So it is here that it's actually having the problem, which is why we had it like that. In which case, I'm happy. Having the prefix out here does separate that data out a little bit, but if I do that, I need to do that for everything, which means I've got to do it for these particular fields too. Not a problem. We just do something like that. And then down here, it will be object assignment ID like that. Like that. And then that will be that, and then we pass it through like that, and then with the link serializer we've got something like that, object assignment ID, which is that, which will work perfectly fine. And then we should go over here, and there you go. I don't know why it's not ordering this correctly, because this should be up at the top. Where's link relationship? It's like it's gone in alphabetical order and it's not paying attention to what I've got down here. That might be because I've got that in the wrong type of brackets, and Python's not telling me that I've got that in the wrong type of brackets. It's like, yeah, that'll be fine. Maybe not. All right. Okay. Huh. Now this isn't against a model. Give me 2 seconds. Django REST framework. Serializers. Order fields. So we're not using a model serializer. Ordering the standard serializer. If you're using the base serializer class instead of model serializer, order is determined by the sequence in which the fields are declared as class attributes. Annoying that I can't overwrite that. Alright. Otherwise, ooh, is there ordering in here? There's ordered equals true, but I don't think that's going to do what we want. Didn't do diddly squat. In this sort of case, it means this code just disappears. Also, this code should disappear. It also, we've got to test this code works, but tell you what, we'll make it disappear. So we've got object assignment ID, object ID, relation, title, status, type, parent link, link relationship. I think that's it. Oh, and we're on an ad break. Ad break in progress. Didn't we just have ads? I feel like we've just had ads. All right, let's quickly do this. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll scoot that over there. There we go. We've got the cross. And then, oops, I've not got any good Yes, don't worry. I'm glad I stopped myself saying that then. Alright. There we go, but we still got to get that line. That, just for us, is just to bump the corners in like that, and then we just get the middle pieces in like... like I've just made a big mistake. Damn it. Alright, I did make a big mistake then. Alright, welcome back everyone. I don't know how I did that. I think I just blanked in my head when doing that move. We'll quickly solve this. That's got to go over there like that, and then we'll get that up to there. That's perfectly fine. Because yeah, I was meant to do something like that. Muck that up, but that happens. All right, cool. So we got all this working. I'm happy with that. That should mean that this is perfect. All right, so we've got everything that we need in here now. That matches the old system. Let's jump into doing the create stuff. So the idea is if we do a create here, it will... Sorry, my brain's just blowing out fog. If we do a create here, it will essentially create it for us. We've already got the endpoint that we want. We've just got to fill out the class to be able to create it. Another thing which I've just realized is when a user goes to actually create, because we haven't actually designed this, we've soft designed it. When a user goes to create one of these, we've got to actually get it so that way oh, I caught it. What am I trying to say? There'll be a search functionality. So the user will type in what they want. It'll be a bar over here. And then essentially the user will be able to yeah, search and add very, very quickly. Alright, cool. It'll make sense once my brain switches on and I can speak English again. Alright, so object editor, we've got title, status, type, and all that kind of fun stuff. Cool, and the best thing is a lot of this code we already had. So we haven't done the create in here yet. We've got the list. That's perfectly fine. We've just got the create to do now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to GitHub. 'Cause we've already got all the business logic already. We're not changing any of that. We're going to go into NearBeach. We're going to go into the views. We've got the API views. We've got the object data. We've got the link, this one. In here, we'll have the create. So we're just going to scroll past all of this. And we've got the create, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to scroll all the way to the end. Just go copy. I'm just going to bump that like that. I'm just going to paste it in like that. We're just going to go something like that. Don't worry about the response. I'm also having a think. what data do we want to send back to the user? The reason being is when the data comes back to the user, do we want to send everything or just the ID of that newly created object? If I wanted this to work really efficiently, I would only send back what that newly created object does, but we don't rehydrate that list. And there in itself is a problem. If someone makes a change somewhere else, we're not hydrating these lists or anything like that. We don't have, we haven't set that up yet. We're still getting this API set up. Yeah. Okay, not a problem. Anyway, it's an issue for another time. So if we scroll up, we're doing the create link. We've got the post data in here, so we pass that through. We're actually just going to go post data. Oh, we might actually just need the request. In fact, because we are. I don't know yet. We'll comment that one out for the moment, because we've got that write only field. I'm hoping that works how we want it to. So we've got the create link, we've got the self, we've got the post data. If serializer is not valid, what we're going to do is we're just going to send back a false. Yeah, we're just sending back a false. Now, yeah. Done. We don't need to worry about anything. Hang on. No, I want to send back errors. Which means I want to send back the serializer every single time because that gives me more control. So, yeah. If we go back with the project API, with the create. So with this post here, what we've got is we've got data and success. So data and the success. Now with the data, that should be serializer. Okay, no need to confuse us. Actually, the second one, because it fails, we'll be sending back the errors. That's just for us to know what's going wrong. A user might be missing a field or something like that. Instead of giving them a, oh, you made errors, we'll send back the error then itself. So, yeah. All right. Don't think I need that. We'll leave that there for the moment. So we've got the destination, we've got the quarks. We don't need any of that. Serialized. Get the parent object, object type, object relation. Oh. List object dictionary response. Oh, we've got to limit this down. All right, cool. So if a random object is sent through, we send back data and all that kind of fun stuff. All right, I need to find this original object dictionary. That's just us going through the code. Just us clicking on that. So, this is our object dictionary. Now, I don't think this is... Oh god, this might be used every... Oh, no, this will be used locally, so we can store it in here. We'll call it object dict. We'll import all of these. Like that. That's just gonna be up here somewhere. I'll do this properly. Oh, we're not using list serializer? Alright, I'll get rid of it. So, we've got that object dictionary in here. So... Oh, that's meant to be self. Whether that works, I don't know. We have that object structure, but that's part of the object structure. That's perfectly fine. This is actually real data. Let's actually do this. Let's go over here. Let's paste that in. Let's just be like, what the fuck? Unexpected indent. Ah, alright. Yeah, no, I understand. And then if we go object dict, and then we go project, yeah, it should be there. And then we go object type. And then in reality, I just need this. Oh my god, select. Hello. Oh, whoops. There. True, and then if we go object type equals pane. Alright, yep. That's pretty easy. In this sort of case, what we want to actually send back is not a response. We are sending back the data and false. And that's it. So that's our second escape condition. We have an ID. We've got object dictionary here. We just go self. Oops. Dot object dict, then get p. All right, cool. And this is how we actually connect the objects up really easily. It's one of our little sort of tricks. I don't think there's a better way of doing it, like for us. But as you can see, this is pretty easy. We just do that. We run a get serializer, validated post, object ID. We're all happy with that. That passes through. We get the single object. And then we submit object assignment. So object assignment, change user equals. Ooh, we do need to actually pass through, not just that. So I'm just going to go request. I think that was it. So that's perfectly fine. That gets the username and all that kind of stuff. We've got the self destination. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's with the object assignment. Yep, cool. We do need that ID to be like that. That's just limitations of our own system. That's fine. That's easily readable. If object relation in right blah blah has duplicate. All right, cool. And once again, this is all the same business logic. We're just changing this up just a little. Ooh, relation dictionary. Oh, this might actually be outside of here. This might be an import. In which case, if it is like that, it might be best to move that out into its own. Yeah, alright. Oh, sorry, big old happening. If we've got dicks that are constantly being used in multiple different places, what we want to actually do is move that out into their own little file. We're trying to figure out a better way of restructuring NearBeach. So we have utilities, we've got enums. We could easily create one that's a dictionary in here and shove all those dictionaries in there. And then later on discuss like where would you put it and stuff like that. I'm just going to have a look at the old code and see how many times that relation dictionary got used. So it's here in this file. It's only used in these two spots. So for the moment, I'm going to say it should be fine. However, yeah, it is one of those things that it really shouldn't belong in the serializer like this if it's been used elsewhere. Which is why I'm going to create this. Easy done. It does mean with this, I've got to delete it from here because otherwise it's loading in that thing in a weird way. So the relation dict. Now another thing is we might look at not making that all capitals, just because we'll do Python dictionary best practices. All right, let's just have a look. This. So they got the student global dictionary, Python global dictionary best practices. And instead of centering good variables across multiple files, create a dedicated module config to hold your settings. All right, cool. Yep. They've got it as capital letters. No global needed for mutation. You can, yep, all right, cool. Blah, blah, blah. Global needed, yep. All right, my dick. They've still got it as capitals. All right. My dick. All right, capital. All right, I'm going to say keeping it as capitals. That's perfectly fine. We are using this in multiple places. That's perfectly fine. We do have the self there, and then a lot of this, once again, object title. All right, this is something that we are changing. So this used to be get attribute, single object, object title, and so forth like that. We should just be using title now. Same with the bottom one. We should be just using status. Object title, if we have a look over here, it's just all of those. But now, it's just title, all of them. So this goes like that. Update the status and title with the correct data. Yeah, that one should be fine. And then the status should also be the exact same thing. It should just go down like this. Alright, cool. Now we've got the serializer. We get the... Alright, cool. So now we're down here. This is where we've got to start thinking about policies and so forth like that. In this sort of case, we're creating something and we get fetch all the data back, and then we're rehydrating the whole entire thing. We don't do that everywhere though, and we should actually be consistent with how we're doing our code. So, you get those socks? Part of me at the moment says, let's keep doing it like this. So I'm just having a look at that. I just need to call that. That's perfectly fine. Where are my errors? There they are. So we've gotten down here. We're perfectly fine with all of this. We've just added something in. One way to do it is, if we do actually send back that one, we only insert that into our storage and so forth like that. There's not much we're doing. Okay, there's obviously like pacing like there's no tomorrow. However, that being said, if someone has two tabs open or either a couple of people editing the same thing, you kind of want updated data to fall back here. We haven't set up any sort of webhooks or this or that or anything really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send back everything for the moment. We won't do that for everywhere. So for example, when you make a Kanban card, we're not sending back every single card. We'll send back just that card's information and that gets slotted into place. Same when moving a card, we don't send out everything and get everything back and so forth like that. It becomes, it's just not feasible, especially when you start getting a lot of data on the page. Isn't that right, Socks? You're like, yes. In this sort of case, we don't expect too much data here. Pretty easy. What we want to do is, we don't want to return stuff like that. What we want to do is we want to return, and then that will be the self.get link list, and then comma, and then true, then all of this just goes, and that's it. So that should be fine. I also know that there is some business logic we need to come up with. Oops. We now have the ability to change it here. We never actually had that ability until just recently. We don't, well, when I say just recently, I mean we're going to do it very shortly. There is one thing that we've got to do, and that is with the update. I'm just thinking how that is actually done. But I'm going to have to see how we actually do the create on the front end, if we're doing any specific logic. Because I remember you have to think about where you are on the whole entire process of things. If you're blocking something, you've got to be is blocked by on the thing on the other side of things, and so forth like that. So yeah. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. All right. Yeah, that's the next thing. Right, this is slowly coming together. All right, Socks wants to appear again. There we go, Socks. All right. Let's get this rendered out first. Let's deal with the search functionality, because that will have something to do with this. So I'm just trying to think also. You okay there? She's like, yeah. All right. All right. I'll get the this rendered out properly first. Let's get this, rendered out. All right. Socks, you gonna help me? She's like, nah. I'm gonna cause trouble. No, don't, Socks, no. So the great news is we've got this. So this will work great on this, because all of a sudden I can see stuff that's all connected. I should also test the connection with the Kanban boards and all that kind of fun stuff, but we'll do that a little bit later. I'm going to go into here. We've got linked list search, create, delete. We don't have linked list search on here. Yeah, I've just got to think of a URL, but I'm going too far ahead. Let's get this rendered out first. So I need NearBeach, I need source, we've got an ad break. All right, cool. I'm gonna use the ad break to quickly go off to the bathroom. I will be right back. Yeah. All right. Welcome back. Let's bring this up. I'm sick of sitting. Let's just say that. I've got the energy to stand right now. All right. I'm also listening out for my kettle. I want a cup of tea. Okay. So we've got the data. I just need to query the data. So we want to go into source. We want to go into components. We want to go into object components, and this will be the link object links or something like that. Link objects. So we've got this. We've got the translations. All right, cool. Now we might have a case where we want to show something that we're loading data. Because I'm programming NearBeach, so it looks nice and works on bad internet connections. Just because when I was first building NearBeach a long time ago, I used to catch the train and there was always a bad internet connection on the train. So sorry, my brain, it's the end of the day, my brain's like going boop boop. Alright, where's our documentation? There is suspension, that's what I'm after. Suspense. So the idea is if there is a async component like that or something like that and the data's still loading, I kind of want to show a small little tiny thing being like, hey, I'm still loading, please wait. The idea is these little tiny suspenses are going to be extremely tiny, that they just load in instantaneously. So yeah. We're going to implement something like that, but first I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. I'll be right back, sorry. All right, cup of tea. So, we have async component. What I want to do is I want to set this up. So in the setup, now this is async setup, composition API ACR, can look like export default, await fetch, all right, all that kind of fun stuff. This is what we want down here. So yeah, we kind of want to do that. So we got to wait for the response. We got to do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we. Okay, cool. Now the other thing is, what am I going to have on here? I mean, I can have that, but I could have just a simple loading. We can sort of set height. Yeah, I think that would be the best solution. I don't see why not. Yeah, I don't see why not. All right. Oh, I should bring that down. Yeah. I'm getting distracted by this notifier. I'm terribly sorry. So we've got linked object. We're just going to find out where we've got our linked object. Ooh, we're no longer using that, are we? The object status. Not at this level. That's perfectly fine. We just get rid of it. What I want, link object. There we go. There it is. Oh, I've got this wrapped in a template too. So it's going to be something like that. All right. So I'm just having a think how I would do this. So we'll definitely need the suspense. Inside the suspense, we'll have the fallback templates and that. So this will look like suspense. Like that. We'll just edit that, we'll put that in, and then we'll go template, fallback, like that. And then we'll have a fallback loading. I've just got to put loading in there for the moment. We'll see how it goes. What I want to do in here, we've got test data, we've got ref and all that kind of fun stuff. 1 and 3, yeah, that's perfectly fine. But what I want to do is on mounted, we've got await, don't I? And I got to import this. And make sure it's asynchronous. Oh, how did I do this originally? So originally with the mock-up, we had those spend a couple of seconds doing their thing. I'm going to replicate that just to get this to look like it's working. That way we can also play around with a few other things too. So I'm just going to move this over here. I know we're no longer need the welcome there. We need the mock-up design. I'm just going to go this window. Easy done. I'm just going to close all tabs. We're just going to minimize everything. Yes, late last year we were working on this. Brings back memories. This would be part of the nav. Not quite. And as you can see, we've got the nav menu and all that kind of stuff, and that's nav skeleton. If we go into here, fetch nav icons async. All right, cool. That's how we've done it. So we're going to do a similar thing here. So I don't think that is going to work for the moment, and that's perfectly fine. We can get rid of most of that data too. So that is return new promise. I'm not going to bother. Resolve, set timeout, resolve. One and two. And we're just going to do that. So if I refresh, we got loading. All right, cool. And that should only last about 4 seconds, and then that pops into place. Just kick the stool right on my cut on my toe. So similar item here. We're not gonna call it that. We're gonna go call it fetch. In this sort of case, these will be object links. Easy done. What I've got to do is, if we have a notice down here, we've got that like that, and it'll be a ref up here, like all of that. So we're going to do the same thing here. We are going to have const. This will be object links. Object link list equals ref. We're going to have an empty array at the start. Now, I am going to create types for this. The reason being is if someone were to use this, they can look up the types and figure out, it's doing this and so forth like that. We'll do that next. So, yeah. It also means that we'll clean up down here too with what we want. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that. We're going to paste over that. We're going to get rid of the test data. That's just going to send a 1 and a 3. We're just going to do that for the moment. This will become a fetch in here. And then, yeah, we've got the fetch stuff there. We've got that there. Now, if we go over here, I'm just going to hit refresh. So we've still got the loading. Awesome. And then doesn't give us any values. Because I haven't actually set this thing down here. So what we need, object link list dot value equals that. I'm just going to hit refresh, wait 4 seconds, easy done. And then boom. Now, I like these dotted lines. I'm going to do something similar with that. Now, that is complaining. Oh, okay, don't worry about that. That once we get the types in, that will just disappear. Don't worry about that error. What I want to do, I want to get this done first. So we are... And this is where I've got one of several things to do. I can create a component and utilize that over all of these because I'm probably going to do the same thing with all of these. Where I create a suspense and hopefully only load the data in when we go to it. But at the same time, I could just go div class equals loading. And then what I could do is we've got the translation up here. We can just go loading object links. Like that. Have that in English. Go over here, go into translate. Do something like that. come into here, just do this, go T, loading object links like that. So we're not worried about translation and all that kind of stuff. And then we can have a different message for each of these. So loading object links, loading documentation, loading notes, loading MISC, which I like. All right. Not gonna lie, that's something we can quickly set up very, very quickly. And if we're using this div somewhere else and stuff like that, this is where we'll probably go, all right, cool, we'll create a component so it's consistent and then we'll use it everywhere. However, I don't foresee us using this anywhere else because other places will use a similar skeleton, a different skeleton, essentially, because they're not going to be in here. If that makes sense. All right. So straight off the bat, what we've got is we've got the tab list. I don't know if we can get all the way down there. So we have the tab list. Well, extra information. And then we've got a div and all that kind of stuff. So... and this is where pulling it out and putting it somewhere different and then pulling it in like this would be better, because then I have that sort of control. But what is this then? Is this part of rendering? Is this part of structure? No, it's not. Do have structure skeleton. That would actually make sense in the sense of this is project page though. Oh god. That really hit my toe. Sorry, my toe's bleeding like there's no tomorrow. Thing is, I am going very deep just to get this loading. It's not guaranteed that I can get to that piece of information, that div. So welk header, will be at the same level as the linked objects. So I don't know, if I scroll down here, I don't know if I'm getting to this div. And then putting this in its own thing isn't hard to do, but where would it go? Be part of the components. And be part of the skeletons up there. But then again, it's not part of that. Give me just a minute or two. I'm just thinking this through. I'm going to keep it here. I'm just going to create a little thing down here. I think it's safe enough to do that. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go align. Actually, before I do anything, let's put this as like 40 seconds. Okay. What do I want to do? I want to reload that. This is going to be 40 seconds. We're going to have a quick look at this. Inside is just text, so if we go text align centered, that's perfectly fine. It's going to go in the center. If we go padding, we probably want 1 rem, maybe 2 rem at the top and all that kind of fun stuff. Border, let's go 1 pixel dashed, and then margin. We want probably 3 rem and 1 rem. Probably like that. All right. All right. So that's going to be pretty simple. This with the linked the linked object. We want to essentially copy this. Wait, what? Oh. All right, you want it back? You're just going to say hi to everyone. You're just going to be like, hey. There you go. In here, we're going to go border. We're just going to paste all of that. Don't sit on the mouse. What we want to also do is we want to go text align center. We want the font weight to be lighter. We don't want it to be too crash hot. We want the padding. Now we're going to do the top and bottom 2 rem, and then 0 on both sides. We want the margin to be, I think we said 3 rem and then 2 rem. However, we're going to copy what this is in a second. So we'll actually visit that and actually copy it out. So we've got this looking like that. That's looking rather nice. Actually, I might... If we're going to use that same sort of structure for all of them, do I want to have something that looks a little bit different? Now, the loading object links, that font is not that light. Which means I've got to find why. And probably change this font family. Easy done. We don't want it too garish there, and then there we go. All right, socks, your tail awfully close to where I'm working. All right, this subtext. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, cool. As for getting it like looking like that, I mean, what does it look like on mobile? I mean, that works, really. However, that being said, all of a sudden you're going from that to when it actually happens, the data that's in there. I'm just waiting for that data to appear. Sorry, it's going to have to be 40 seconds worth of me just sitting there staring. There we go. To something like that. That works for me. It's something different where it's relaying the information to the user, for starters. And it's different enough that the user realizes that, hey, this is a loading state, and we can use it in other places too. So we can use it under documentation. So we can have the same thing under documentation, where we don't let the user do anything until it's actually downloaded the initial state. So yeah, all right, cool. I like that. It's simple, it's easy. We can replicate that quickly over everything. So on the projects page, what we want to do is this is fine. This loading is fine. Socks. There we go. Just turn around. I don't know what she was doing. She's like backing up, but she was tripping over her back legs as she was doing it. Alright, so Socks' head is once again in the way. We want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to yank those 5 lines. Actually, I want to neaten that up a little bit. I want to go suspense like this. I just then want to go template, and then I want to go document component. And all of these will have their own suspense. Easy done. We're gonna create different translations. So go back into here. We'll have document notes. So loading documents. Like so, we'll have loading notes. And loading MISC. Easy done. All right. Easy done. All right, so got all of that done. We just gotta do this one now. Loading documents. Easy done. Loading notes. And we have another ad break. So the suspense is working. When we come back from the ad break, we'll actually get the API call done and dusted. So yeah, hopefully everyone's going well. We are making quite some progress. I can see this almost. I'm not quite finishing this tonight, but getting there. The one thing which I think we will trip up is the new update functionality. But once again, I've just got to get the create functionality working. Yeah, that's it. So, hopefully everyone's going well. It'll be nice once getting this part out, because the documentation, one, shouldn't be so hard, because I've just got to double check all the API points, and how they're gonna work. That one, a lot of that will be very, very simple. We've done a lot of the hard work already for that one. It'd be nice having the documentation functionality built back in. And then, yeah, the notes, piss easy. A lot of that code will just come over. And be simplified too. The MISC. I haven't researched the MISC yet, so yeah. Welcome back, everyone. All right, cool. So we are going to start doing this, so it'll fetch data correctly. We need to actually do the types properly, so we need it to have this. So I'm just gonna copy this. What we do is under utils, we've got interfaces in here. We've got the stores, we've got this and all that kind of stuff. This one, it'll be quite high up. This will be object link interface. And that's part of TypeScript. We're just pasting one of these. If you haven't seen what this looks like, it's essentially something like this. Pretty easy. Export interface. This one will be object linked list interface. I'm just going to grab 5 from 12. Well, it'll be 4 from 12, so it'll be 6. Sorry, 8. What we do is we just go number. Cool. This will be a number. This will be a string. This will also be a string. This will be a string. This will be a string. This will be a string. Pretty easy stuff. This will be a boolean. Something different. And that's it. That's the type. So if anyone's actually using NearBeach and wanting to know what these types are, you can actually get to the types and be like, oh, that's what they're expecting. So easy done. What we want to do, we want to copy this. We want to go into this now. We want to do a ref, but if memory serves me correctly, we do it something like this. So we're expecting an array of objects. However, this is like this at the moment, so no data. Now, with the promise, what we're actually expecting, once again, is one of these, like this. So we're actually going to do that. So we've got the resolve. Oh, I think this is going to be different. Yeah, I think we're simplifying this. If we have a look in here, we just go that. Hopefully. Just having a think in my head if that makes sense. So there might be cases where I want to refetch the data. All right. So I'm just thinking everything in my head at the moment. We could do this where we expect a result and then we do something like that. That is perfectly fine. We can do that. The way if we were to do it something like this might be a little bit better. Yeah. I'm also trying to think if we're going to need to refetch the results, but I don't think we will. So in this sort of case, we can set up a response in here, a fetch in here, so we can use one of these. Again, I'm just copying one of these over here, just for reference. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy all of that out. Then what we need to do is a simple fetch. This will be this will be on new lines. API version 1 will have the object store. Oh, we're going to use the object store. Not a problem. This is just going up here and telling it to use the object store. What'll happen after that? Define store. This will be define references. So const, that will be object store equals use object store. Give me a couple of seconds, I'm double checking that. Yeah, that's correct. All right, cool. I just then need to import that. All right, cool. So we've got the object store. So the object store, now I've got to go down to the fetch.destination. It'll be /, and then we'll have object store dot location ID. Oh, ID, sorry. Then we'll have a /, and this will be linked list. And / like that. Oops, I forgot to put the method in, and then we'll do something like this. The method is just going to be our simple get. We don't need a body or anything like that. We do need headers. Content type application /JSON x CSRF token. That's going to be get CSRF token. Now that's our fetch, but we've got the await in here like that. I don't know if that will work. Object linked list dot value equals await res.json. And then I just need to import this like that. And what we're going to do, we're just going to go over here. We're just going to hit refresh. Oh. All right, invalid property, type check for prop, index, expected number, got not a number. All right, cool. No, we're not going to worry about that at all for the moment. We know if something's gone wrong. But if I, oh yeah, no, we've got a 404. So if I bump that off over here, yeah, we've got a 404. Not found. API version 1. Yeah, we don't have the data there, which means this has not been loaded in yet. Which means I've probably got to wait for the next tick to actually happen. So I'm just having a quick think. I'm going to do it on mounted instead, but we'll keep this code here. We'll keep it here for a reason. We're going to go on mounted. I'm going to have it await on mounted async. Got to import it. There's no promise. All right, cool. And hello there, Dante. How are you going? Hopefully you're going well. What I want to do is we've got a wait on next tick. Actually, no, I'm going to go console log object store. We're actually gonna, I'm curious. Curious what that will actually give us. So we're just going to jump into here. We're just going to delete everything. We're just going to refresh. Object store 0. All right, you can see that hasn't gotten data yet. What if we do await next tick like that? We do have to import it. I'm just going to copy that. I'm just going to do something like that. We're just going to hit refresh. Or am I very, very special? And it's not. Oh no, it's ID. Oh. You're doing okay. Just finalized the core of the game you're building. Oh, nice. Congratulations. So yeah, that's awesome news. We do have a Discord if you want to show it off there. All right, so the next tick. Oh, do I just do that? All right. I'm just gonna hit refresh again. Yeah, notice how the object stores are being installed after. All right, so this is where I've got to go view await store implementation. All right, give me just a second. View pinia await. What is the store installed? Yeah, that's what we want. We want a suspension. Route before each store. That's what we kind of got. Where's my schedule? So, I'm in Australian Eastern Standard Time. I'll give you the time in Melbourne. So it's pretty much 9 p.m. right now. I usually start 2.5 hours, so my 6:30, 2.5 hours before this particular time, and I finish in about an hour. And that would be Monday. Today's Monday, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday usually. So yeah, I haven't been on as much as I wanted to in the last couple of weeks. It's just I've been extremely tired. So yeah. All right, so what I want to do is I want VueJS on mounted wait store installation. All right, we'll go store installation or something like that. Await for store initialize. Watch some data, new data, immediate. That might be, yeah. Just having a look at the compositional API life cycle. Because it could be something in here. I know that there is a graph. Oh, there was a graph. Oh. Where did the pretty diagram go? Lifestyle hooks. Ah, here we go. Surrender component, init options, have compile, initiate, so mounted, so on mounted, it's before updated. We don't want to do... So we've got on mounted, mounted. And we got before mount. I'm just wondering... When can I activate this? Let's see how many ticks it takes. So we've got the await next tick. Ah, all right, cool. I'm just going to do a couple of these ticks like this. Easy done. Then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go all that on the right. I'm just going to have a look. Yeah, it's all... Yeah, it's... Wait for app to fully load. I know why. No, I know why. It's because it loads up the page. We actually do an initial request for that data. We then get that back. I've got to wait for something else. I'm just trying to think what would be the solution here. Because we've got to wait for the store to change. So what I can do... But it will be a promise. The other thing I could potentially do is I could put the loading screen in here with the state and all that kind of fun stuff. I mean, that will simplify it. So what I mean is in here, I could put this down a simple level, put on a state. It changes depending on the state, being like, hey, if we're currently loading data, put this in. We wait till we get data, then we change the state and so forth like that. That will be really easy to do. We can keep the suspense where it is. However, I'm now just replicating that thing in two different places, in which case then I would actually move that into its own component. However, having the suspense like that will be kind of cool. But these particular files should be fine. Because these particular files. So this is the linked objects. So I'm just having a check of how big this linked object is. .9 kilobytes. How long to download? I'm just doing 15. And we're just going to go, I think it was 51 kilobytes. Ah, yeah, all right. It's going to take next to nothing to download that little tiny file, so I probably can get away with no suspense at the top level. And then have a loading sort of thing. So I'm probably need to redesign this how I've just done this with the whole suspense thing. And the reason being is I just don't have sorry, give me 2 seconds. I just don't have the ability for it to actually wait until all the data's down. Which is fine. All right, so I'm going to change stuff. Under object components, we're going to write skeleton. And we're going to have small loading skeleton. Oops, setup equals TypeScript. I've marked that up already, haven't I? Setup lang equals TypeScript. And I'm just making sure I've got the styles on right. Style scoped. Easy done. All right. In here, what we want to do is we're going to have a div. It's going to be called class. It's going to have small loading skeleton. And then we're just going to have slot. Piece of cake. All right. For the project page, we're getting rid of all the suspense out of here and all that kind of fun stuff, just because we don't need it anymore. The reason being is these particular component files will load really, really quickly. We're not worried about that. It's the data that's in it that will take a little bit longer. However, that being said, we can't use the suspense. We actually have to wait for all the data, the initial data source to actually download for us to then do all this kind of fun stuff and all that kind of blah, 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 blah. So we're going to add in at the lower level a state, which means we don't need the suspense here anymore. Which is fine. We just delete it like this. We just scroll down here. This might not be needed here anymore, but we're going to cut it out. We're going to go into our small skeleton things. We're just going to paste it in. We're going to call it like that. Easy done. With this, we just delete all of that. We're fine with that. We scroll up. This is working perfectly fine. What we now need to do is in this one, we don't need them mounted. What we're going to be watching is the object. This is where we need to... The object ID. And the destination. Give me 1 second. I'm going to open up the view. I'm going to open up Pinia. We're going to click on the object. So this is the object. We've got the destination project. If I hit refresh, this will all load in and so forth like that. So these are all reactive and all that kind of fun stuff. So we see this object, project, and object. These two get updated at the same time. Now, I'm just wondering if I interrupt that cycle shortly, we'll see it at its default. So if I go into the views API, we then go into the projects API, we then go into, not the list, not the partial update, we go into the retrieve. I'm just going to put a breakpoint in there. We're just going to hit refresh. So we haven't actually got data yet. And if we have a look at the object, you'll notice that it's all blanked out. Now, in reality, what I should be doing is I should be putting in a suspense in here so that we've got a loading state and all that kind of fun stuff so that the user's like, oh, I'm not going to change anything or anything like that. But that's perfectly fine. So this is in here like this. This is all like this. We've got the ID equals 0 and the destination equals 0. So what I'm going to focus on is if either one of those changes. I'm gonna have to say if either one of those change, because I mean, we could also put in a hash in here where we hash some of the data. Actually, no, we don't want to. We would only. All right. So the reason why I have to look at both the destination and the ID is, if the user navigates to another project, we need the ID will change. If the user navigates to, let's say, a task, but with the task as the same ID. So yeah, I need to have a watch of both. And then if any of those change, then we fetch the data. Okay, I like that idea. And then hopefully I don't have a race condition where I accidentally fetch the data twice. So yeah. So I'm just giving a massive think about this. Sorry, we're just on an ad break at the moment. That's the thing about this, I've got to think. I got to think about all the different stages of what's loading and stuff like that. We don't load every bit of data, and that's by design. In fact, what we want to do is we want to load bits of data only when it's needed. So in this sort of case, we've got to watch We could add in a status. I think that will be probably the better solution. We'll add in a status at the object side of things. That way, if that data changes or we need to reload in that data, we can go, all right, cool. We're loading in that data. For example, could be is loading status. And I can see that being useful everywhere. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. I'm just racking my head for ideas and stuff like that. So this is the object in here. This is the object store. As you can see, this is, you got priorities, reactive, and all that kind of fun stuff in here. What I was thinking is having one field in here being like, is loaded. By default, false. Easy done. All right. And then what actually happens is we can use that. We can watch that one particular field. If it turns true, we load in the data we want. If it's false, we then set the we then reset the data on our side and all that kind of fun stuff. I think that's going to be good. We'll use it as a boolean for the moment. Yeah, I like that. We'll use it as a boolean at the moment. I've just got to double check. Yeah, we're using is loaded elsewhere too, so it's not like it's a weird thing. Yeah. All right. So we do something similar with the permission store. I'm going to bring up the network. I'm going to disable the cache. We're going to throttle somewhat. I'll just delete everything. We're just going to reload, and I'm just going to go through what we pull in. So we're pulling in some data. Like that. That's fine. That's just the project 17. Then we get the client, and then we do all this sort of stuff. If we look at all the calls, we do the initial data first. All right. As you can see, that once that's done and everything is loaded in, it then loads in the project data. And then from there, once that one's done, then we can start loading in the other stuff. So yeah, I'm going to implement an is loaded functionality at the store level, at the object store level. So I'm just going to go to stores. I'm going to go new object. We're going to open up this. We are going to go is loaded, and it's false. Start off with, which makes sense. Nothing's going to be loaded in here. What we got to do we really need all this extra data for the statuses? It might be easier for everyone if we add the statuses as a model directly. However, we lose key information like higher order status. All right, cool. That was me figuring out stuff. Don't worry about that. That's something I will come back to. Now, when we actually load in this data, so if we go object store, I think it is, dot partials. Oh, probably not. All right. I'm trying to remember where I load this data in. So let's actually go to the project page. Actually, it might be in part of the router. If memory serves me correctly, it is actually part of the router. I'm just going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up this. We're going to go into our source, our router itself. So if I scroll down, That's before each permission store. All right, that's checking the permission store. All right, cool. Yep, that's perfectly fine. And then project page. Object. That status. All right. Where am I doing that call? Sorry. This is. I pressed escape. Thank you. In fact, that thing is actually annoying me. I've actually got the thing to pull that key out. Because I swear I'm not pressing it at times. I did press it then. Alright, let's see if that actually stops that from happening. Alright. I'm trying to remember how I've got this set up. So we've got the route. We do all the route stuff. Fetch object metadata. Oh, that's the metadata. That's perfectly fine. We're happy with that. Components. Yeah, we've got the project page open. I don't think we've got anything on the project page about that. And that's just updating the status. And then are we watching that status anywhere? Because I've absolutely forgotten where we call this. All right, we've got it in a couple of places. General detail component. That object status, object priority. Let's save data. That's save data. That's us just doing that. General detail. That's a patch. All right. Am I calling it at destination? That's a get. On mount async. General detail. All right. Oh, yeah, here we are. Here's where we're calling it. So we get all this, we get this, we patch, sorry, wrong. Run started equals destination. And then we patch the data in like that. All right, cool. And I just got to go response.data.isLoaded equals true. That's it. That's the only place we're calling it. This will need to be moved to the new fetch method to do move to fetch. Yeah, we're getting rid of Axios from here because the fetch is just easy. It just works. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to think. So we've just done that. I've just got to close all of this now. So now we've got this. I know we can watch an object. So we're just going to go watch, and we're going to go object store dot is loaded. This is where I'm going to double check that I've got this right. So watch. It's probably not what I want with that way. That's what I want. Oh yeah, CV new value and the, yep. All right, cool, 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 cool. We don't need to pass through the value whatsoever. We just do something like that. Hey, let me add you in. Oh, fuck off. Excuse my French. All right. No overload for this call. The last gave the following error. Type argument boolean is not assigned to type object. Because it wants that. Argument of type boolean is not assignable to a parameter type object. All right, give me 2 seconds. Let's just go into here. I guarantee some Google search will fix this. So view, watch Pinia store value. All right. So it's something slightly different. Easy done. So what we'll do, we'll just get rid of that. We'll just paste that over like that. We're just going to go delete end to delete beginning. We are going to go object store dot is loaded. All right, cool. We're not going to worry about these because we just want to trigger the loading state of this particular thing. What we want to do is in here, actually no, we need the new value. All right, what's happening if new value is false, nothing is loaded. If new value, return, easy done. And then we do data, fetch the required data. In this sort of case, that will be this here. Now, that's an await. What we're going to do, async that. I'm just going to format everything so it looks nice. So we've got the fetch. We want to do the then. So that will then change the object link list equals response.data. We're happy with that. We're not going to bother with that. Oh, hang on. I just got to double check with the fetches. Do something like that. Oh my god, I haven't done data fetching. Alright, I think it's JSON. But this, oh, we gotta do, sorry, dot value. Alright, my bad. Now it's gonna, this is gonna be annoying for us with the TypeScript stuff, but we'll get to that in a minute. I just want to see this work, and then we're going to have a catch, we're going to have an error. We're just going to go console.error, and we're just going to pass through an error. We're also going to go to do handle errors correctly. Easy done. Up here, what we're also going to do is we're going to have a state, whether this is loaded or not. And that's just going to be const is loaded equals ref boolean, and we're just going to go false straight off the bat. Once this is all done, this will be is loaded dot value equals true. Up here we're going to go state we are loading is loaded dot value equals false here. Easy done. We fetch the data. We're all happy. This will stay as false. Yeah, we'll handle. We'll have to figure out how we're going to handle that. As for down here, we've got a v4. And what I want to do is, I'm going to bump this down here, I'm going to bump this down here, and I'm just going to go vf is loaded. Done. Up here, actually, down here, we're going to go import the small loading skeleton. We're just going to go velse. And we're just going to we're going to do that translation. Like that. We just need to go up here and just go loading. I'm going to have a look up here. We're going to have to remove a lot of these. So this is this one. I'm just going to paste that in, knowing full well that I'm just going to put loading in there. That's going to be fine. I need to do that with the Japanese one too. So we're just going to do that. And then we'll just go delete end. This will be delete end. That should work a treat. So if I go over here, got a couple of console logs. I'm just going to hit refresh, hope for the best. Realize that I'm on good 2G. I'm just going to go no throttle. We're just going to delete and refresh. Cool. We're going to go back to the store. Failed to resolve component slot. Is this a native element? All right, cool. I've got to do a slot somewhere. This might not be showing anything, but at the moment, if we go right, we can see nothing's there. Not a problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replicate holding something for the moment. Or I'm just going to double check that this is working how we want it to. And then we're just going to go console log, loading, stuff. We'll get rid of that in a second. I'm just going to hit refresh. So we've got loading stuff happening. We don't have any text in here because I'm not passing through any data. So I need to go back down to the skeleton. That will be part of the object components. That will be part of the skeletons. Yeah, I think it's just like that. And then we've got loading object links here. All right, cool. All right, so loading object links. That looks good. What do I want to do now? Now, I noticed that I've got a bit of gap here, and that's just because of that up there. What I'm going to do... we'll have 1 REM, 2 REM, 3 REM, 2 REM. We might have 0 REM. Something like that. Yeah, that looks nice. And there we go. That will load up like that. I like that. As simple as easy. Cool. Let's go back into the linked objects. Let's delete that. Let's delete that. And then what I want to do, I'm just going to hit reload. Everything loads in. Cool. That actually loaded in pretty fast. I'm just going to move that to the left. I'm going to have a look at the link list. We have nothing coming through the link list. Ooh, this is number 17. What if we go to number 1? We've got a couple with this. All right, cool. Let's fix this up. So, what do I want to do? First off, let's have a look at the view. Let's go route view, anonymous base project, anonymous components, welk tabs. We've got the link object in here. In here, what we've got is we should have something. Not object stores provided, blah blah. None of that. Object state, no. Routing. View available locales, no. Fuck, what's the variable called? Object link list. Object link list, promise, ref. No. All right. Is that the... It's going to hit refresh. Oh, all right. Oh, all right. Yay! We can work with this now. We do have a lot of warnings. We will be working through the warnings at the same time. I think that's just because I've got this temporary data, temporary layout here. All right, cool. So that worked a wonderful treat. We're going to go down here now. So if is loaded, sweet. What we're going to do is we've got a for, we've got relationship and index of that. Now, that being said, I don't think we need the index anymore. No, we need the index. Because the index will tell us what row it is. With the idea being, it's just quick to give us a quick number. I don't need to filter for it. I don't need to edit it. I don't need to find its location in the thing. I'm like, index right there. That's what I'm editing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep that in there. We're going to edit it. That's great.
with the delete, we'll need both the index and the delete, the object assignment ID, but that's not going to be a problem. Now, straight off the bat, what I want to do, relationship dot object title. Cool. Sorry, it was meant to be like that. I was meant to write object status. That's my bad. Down here, we're sending a relationship. I've got to send the relationship itself down into here. Oh, and yeah, this handles the Dart save data and all that kind of stuff. All right, cool. I'm just trying to remember the type number. All right. That might be a problem. So I'm just playing with the cube at the moment. So that might be a problem. We don't have an ID in here for the relationship link itself. It's a string of that. However, that being said, I'm trying to remember how this is set up in the models. If it is a string like that, it means I've just got to bear it and add in a translation layer. Or change the change how that drop down works, which probably is going to be easier to do that, to tell you the truth. We also have that as capital R, relate, eh? Yeah. I'm trying to remember what we did initially when we did all of this stuff. I'm going to have to see the database very, very quickly, so we're just going to open up BStudio. We're just going to go there. We are going to go into NearBeach object assignment. Or object-ish. I'm just going to view the data very, very quickly. All right. And I just realized it is an ad break. So yeah, it looks like that data is stored as text values in there. So I'm going to make a few modifications that are going to flow downstream. It's not going to take us too much longer to do that. So yeah, and then hopefully next stream it means I can get it so that it updates those particular values. Yeah. Should be, famous last words, shouldn't be too hard to implement all of that. And then from there, yeah, from there it should be fine. Famous last words. Right. All right, about 5 seconds left of the ads, and then we'll jump right back into it. So, yeah. All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's go into this. We are going to go over here, and we are going... So, had a quick look at the relationship in the database, wherever it is. Link relationship. These are text in the database. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this from a number into a string. It is required. That's part of the props. And then this also becomes a string. It passes down into this model. Now remember everything. All of this will be like that. So we've got labels like that. However, that being said, when I had a look at the database, don't I have this one open? Or did I just close? Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. Okay. So we have a look at the data. Got it like that. But then I flip it in here. So we've got relate, subobject, relate in here. Which... alright, I've got to actually do a conversion and all that kind of fun stuff. Which is not hard to do. I've just got to remember all that code which I did it with. Because yeah, we've got the reverse relationship here. So what it's saying is with this sub-object that it is actually reverse relationship false, meaning that yeah, this particular requirement is a sub-object of this. This is related, that's perfectly fine. Those are related, sub-object false, yeah, that is meaning that. Alright, cool. Whereas if it was a true, it means that this project is a sub-object of that. This is how we did it. So I do need to actually go through and try and find it. This will be part of the object. Modules, submodules. This will be the object links. Oh yeah, this code. So this gets everything, and then we get all of that. Then the methods is linked object. So a lot of this will actually have to be ported over into our current thing. Not a problem to do that. Update link result. Yep. All right. Cool. Has duplicate. All right. Cool. Sub object links, which means sub object links. There we go. Oh, all right. I do need to go through this code and fix everything up. Oh, well, port it over. All right. So we've got that as a drop down. So in reality, these values should be changed, and we need those a bit different. In which case, yeah, that's fine. is sub object of is parent object of. I'm just this is the relationship link, so I'm just wondering if I can has duplicate object of. If I can just pass all of this information down here and do the calculations down here, and I think that will be fine. Is duplicate object of, and that also means that I only have to do it initially, because from that point on, but then I get all the data from the back end to the front end. But then that's a reinitialization of everything, which in reality we don't need to do. Which means I can just send back a 201 created to the user. Yes. So I'm just having a think about all of this. All right. Now, that's all fine, because they get translated. Those are all different values. So we've got the relationship coming down. What I could do is, because we initialize it first, and then from that particular point on, we actually have no prop. We have no, we're not importing any models or anything like that. It gets pulled down once, and then we can change it down here and it'll be perfectly fine. So I could wrap this in a little function to do that translation layer. So get that from, oh, yeah, we need 2 bits of information there. All right. This now requires me to do a little bit more research. So yeah, but we're done rather well. All right, we're getting all of this down. We've got all of this in. We now need to just make sure that those are doing their thing correctly. If I just delete the console, let's hit refresh. We've still got invalid prop checked, type failed for proc relationship, expected string with value, object. All right, cool. So I need to fix that up next, which shouldn't be too hard to do. All right, let's see if we can do this. So relationship, I'm not worried about this at all. We need to initialize the model. Determine what we have from the procs. Easy done. So we'll have the relationship, and then if we go into this, we'll see reverse relation. And that will be type boolean. Required is definitely going to be true. There we go. That just wanted it like that. That's perfectly fine. What I'm going to do, I'm just grabbing this because we're halfway down the page. This is going to be reference. So we know straight off the bat, if it relates to that, we're like, cool, that's what it's going to be. If props.relationship equals, I should go to lowercase, equals relates related this will be the relationship model dot value equals relates to, and then return. We don't need to deal with that. That is perfectly fine. Now, this is where this could actually be a case statement. The switch case statement. Oop. All right. Sorry, I'm just grabbing my cube. All right. This is where I want to do a file mask on that, and this is where I want to go. Not related name. I want link relationship. We're fine with that. That's the data we want. So I'm just going to copy that. We're going to go down here. We're going to paste that in. And we're going to do that. So it's exactly like that. All right. This, all right, cool. It's fine. What we want to do, switch. We want to go props dot relationship dot to lower case, like so. We're just going to open that up. We got the case. Here we can go block. All right, so this is where we go. So if it is block, it is either blocking something or is being blocked. So I've got to think about this. We then want to go relationship model dot value equals, and this is where we also go props dot reverse relationship. So if that is true, it is blocking something. So is blocked by would be the value. Otherwise is currently blocking. And then we just break out of here. That's fine. We want to do the next case, which will be duplicate. And then relationship model dot value equals props dot reverse relationship. This will be duplicate. This will be has duplicate object of and is duplicate object of. We just break that. Cool, sweet. We then want to do case. The next one will be related, or relate, I should say. We don't need to worry about reverse case here because it doesn't matter. The reverse case of, or flip case of relate is relate. So relationship model equals, and this will be relates to. We just break that. Sorry, I do need to put in a value. And then we've got case, and our lucky case is subobject. And then relationship model dot value equals props dot reverse relationship. And then this is sub object, so it is sub object of, or is parent of. Sorry, I'm just gonna copy this. I know I'm gonna make a mistake if I don't. And then we just break default. We're gonna have to handle the errors. Yeah, it just has an unexpected value, and then we break. We need to do handle error cases. Easy done. Actually, no, let's go to default with this. So what I'm going to do, you get rid of the related like that. That should be fine. We can default back to that. We can get rid of this now. And I've noticed that we've just set the value here when we're actually calling it like up here, like that. Very silly of me. This could also go into onMounted or something like that. Which would be a lot better to do. Then we just need to import it. Then I don't need to do anything here except do that. All right. So when it mounts up, it will actually populate this. And I'm going to be happy with that. This is pretty easy code to read. I know we've got the ternaries in there, which does add on a little bit of craziness to stuff. So that's why we're actually doing something like this. This will hopefully lay it out so people are like, if they read this. It's not too bad. Saves me having to do a flip sort of case and do some weird wanky stuff to get to that. Alright, so if we go over here, I'm going to hit refresh. We have type error, relationship to lowercase is not a function. Boo, you suck. So I am going to find that. That's part string. That should have worked there. Data. So what I'm going to do, move that off to the left, delete everything. I'm just going to refresh. We're going to scroll all the way up to the top. So we've got loading stuff, invalid prop, type check for prop relationship, expected a string, got object. All right. I'm going to have to fix that. So in the view, we've got router view, anonymous, base transition, project page. We've got anonymous component, wiki tabs. We've got the linked object. We've got linked object. In here, we should have the object link list. We've got 5 objects in there. If we open up that, we've got the link relationship. All right, cool. That's my mistake. If we go over here, we've got relationship dot linked relationship. That should fix that up now. But also at the same time, we need reverse that. So we need relationship dot reverse relation passing through. All right, that should clear out some of those console warnings and stuff like that. Boom. All right, cool. Status was not found in state management relates to. Status was not found in state management. Status was not found relates to. All right, not a problem. We'll fix this up in a second. It's probably just me doing a spelling mistake. That's not right. $2 on it. We'll go back down in here. So what it's saying is it can't find relates to. And it can't find is parent object of. All right, I'm just going to do a refresh. Yeah, we've still got some errors. Don't know why. We'll fix them up. But you can see we've got some of this done, so which is good. We are having the error updating pass through and all that kind of fun stuff. So that is something that I will have to fix up next stream. We are actually at the end of this stream. Let's see what is going on. But we are getting there. So hopefully next stream what we can do is we can do the CRUD here, we can do the delete, and then we can do the add in. The add will be down at the bottom. It'll be just a simple thing to put in there. Everything's coming together really fast, which is good news for us. Oh, data relate. Oh no, relate. Alright, status not found. Alright, cool. That's fine. What I want to do. Okay, that's got me on an ad at the moment. And they're not quite at their. Yes, but that's fine. I mean, I got no one, really. Alright. They won't let us raid them. Alright, not a problem, that's fine. Cool. We'll raid someone else. All right. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for coming tonight. It has been wonderful. We actually got a lot done, which is nice. Essentially, hopefully we get these other sort of little tiny things done. Once that's all done and tested, it's moving on to the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then lots of unit testing. And then once all of the tests has been done, that's when we actually duplicate everything out, which I'm hoping happens a lot sooner. It will be good. Let's just say that. Anyway, I do hope you enjoy Mr. D-Boy. So yeah, we'll go and raid on through. And for those on YouTube, sadly, you won't be able to join us with the raid, but thank you very much for being here. And don't forget to